It's Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in, grab your coffee, grab your tea. We're just going to sit and chat for a minute. Come on in. It's really good to see you guys. Always, always, always. So today is Tuesday, and we are going to talk about fatty liver. I know it's a super sexy conversation, isn't it? And the connection with insulin resistance. So jump on in, you guys. I would love to see you. I don't know if you know this or not, but in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, for y'all that are a part of that, not everybody is, and I get it. But if you are, the next free 5-day challenge is October 6th. 6th through the 6th through the 10th. Monday through Friday, I'll go live at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time every day on those days. And when you want to get into Ditch Insulin Resistance, you have to give your email, okay? There's just been too many shenanigans and stuff like that. It's the only way that I can communicate with people. So I am going to have you do that. But October 6th through the 10th, I will go live at 3 p.m. Central. This is our 29th one, you guys. 29. We ain't messing around, people. The biggest benefit of being a part of that, you don't even have to sign up for it, is that I do ingredient trade outs. So people always want to know, well, what do you eat? And it's kind of a big deal because I am Italian. And so this is why that conversation is so important for so many people, right? So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Something looks different on my StreamYard, so I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not going to worry about it. So Facebook and YouTube, things look different. Okay, it's all good. So today I want to jump right in and talk a little bit about fatty liver. This is a very, very popular conversation because people are maybe not knowing how to switch their foods. People are maybe not knowing how would I even know other than going to have an MRI, etc. Well, hello, Peggy. Good to see you. Very good to see you. And this is a big factor in why if your liver is sluggish, you guys, you can't burn fat. And so sometimes you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall. Sometimes you just feel like you're swimming upstream and you're like, what's going on? But then there's also, good morning, sweet lady Patty. But there's also this, well, hello, Billy. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. There's this reality that sometimes we are just freaking exhausted all the time. We're tired. We're not sleeping well at night. Our cravings are out of control. Our belly fat won't budge. We've got all these different things, but I'm telling you, like your best friend, it's all connected. It's all connected. So let's dive in. And we will get this all kind of wrapped up for you guys. Such a good conversation to be having right now. Such a good one. Okay, so here we go. Did you know that fatty liver is not just from alcohol? I mean, obviously, because it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And did you know that it's in our children? Such a big conversation. In fact, most people walking around with it have never been told. And some of them are thin. You can be skinny and have fatty liver. You don't have to be overweight at all, right? And skinny people can have fatty liver too. And the biggest culprit, it's hiding in foods that you probably thought were healthy. And this is why we have such an issue. Come on in, you guys on TikTok. It's so good to see you. Thank you for popping in. You know what? And I remember when I thought I was making better choices. Literally, I just had this conversation the other day with my oldest son and then my daughter, who's my middle child. And we were heading somewhere and all in our truck. And I was just having this conversation. And I'm like, I thought I was doing a good job when I was raising you guys. I really did. Because the standard when I was being raised was that you had to cook from scratch as much as possible. And you didn't have a lot of boxes, barcodes, or bags. That's what Dr. Bickman says in your pantry. And we didn't. We had very little. We had a lot of creamed soups and we had a lot of Jell-O packages, boxes. That's what we did have. That was definitely, if you want to call that, that was the height of our processed foods because, my mother was a home ec teacher. My father was 100% Italian. So you had to have some standard, right? I mean, still, it wasn't, there were other things that were way, way, way off, but that's what we thought. So as opposed to my neighbor, they had a pantry that was like, you could have gone through Armageddon and they would have been able to feed the neighborhood with everything that was boxes, barcodes, and bags, right? However, when I started to raise my kids, I thought the same thing, like, well, I'm just cooking from scratch, so this is good, right? This is at least better than having a lot of prepackaged stuff. Well, you don't know what you don't know. Okay, so here we go. So I remember that I was making better choices, thinking I was making better choices, grabbing, like granola bars and giving them to my kids, or having fruit juice in the house. Even adding, like, when they marketed to us and they said agave was better than sugar. Nope. And all of these things that were like marketed as healthier than sugar, but Dr. Ken Berry really did, like, he's a big piece of like how I changed my viewpoints, like on fructose, and how they don't act like other sugars, because it literally bypasses your body's stop signs. Fructose bypasses your body's stop signs, and it goes straight into the liver. So imagine a freight train with no brakes crashing right into your liver every single time. That's what's happening to our bodies. So when you're drinking like high fructose corn syrup, whether it's coming out of and you wouldn't drink it, but eating it, high fructose corn syrup that's going like from your barbecue sauce, or you're drinking it in your Dr. Pepper. If my husband's watching, I'm just saying. And he's not. I know what he's doing today. So he's not watching me today. He orders Dr. Pepper when we go out. And it's like, it's high fructose corn syrup, and that only can go through your liver. High fructose corn syrup is wicked, wicked, wicked evil, but it's in so much of the foods that we eat. Okay. So that's the freight train that's running into your liver like all the time. So number one, you can be skinny and have a fatty liver. So you can be thin. You don't have to be overweight. Even if you're thin, your liver can be clogged and inflamed from hidden sugars and processed foods. So that whole saying, like, oh, she can just eat anything she wants. Well, what if she can't? I understand the saying. I understand what we're saying. What we're saying is, oh, she can maintain her thinner stature and still eat everything she wants, and she doesn't seem to gain any weight. What if the weight is in the visceral fat? What if the weight is all in your belly and around your organs? Because that's the fat that you don't want to have, right? That's the fat. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Very good to see you. How you doing in New York? The perfect storm combo is actually, it's not just fructose, which high fructose corn syrup. Fructose is fruit. Fruit is fructose. I was just listening to somebody this morning, and I went back and I tried to find it. And he's a doctor, and I need to go back and try to find it. But he was talking about how when we eat fruit, and when I teach like food, I teach grain, sugar, and legume free, because you're trying to get back out of insulin resistance land, trying to back your way out, which is 100% possible. And he was saying that for the average person, just somebody without insulin resistance, you should only ever eat fruit in season, because it's so high because it is fructose. That's just what it is. Fruit is fructose. That if you are eating out of season, which we do now all the time, literally all year round, because we have everything shipped in, right? So we just are like, oh, well, too bad it doesn't have as much flavor as it used to. That's how we gauge it. But he's saying, no, if you will eat fruit in season, then you're creating your own moderation. And that's for the person without insulin resistance, okay? But it's not just fructose. It's the combination, actually, this is super interesting, of fructose and seed oils. Like, what? Why is that the perfect combo, right? Or fructose, seed oils, and alcohol, obviously, would be really the perfect storm. Your liver has to pick what to deal with first. And guess what? Alcohol will always win. So if you are like, you're drinking Dr. Pepper or Pepsi or Coke, and it has high fructose corn syrup in it, or you're eating a lot of fruit, or you're a fruitarian or whatever, you're just eating a lot of fruit. And you're doing a lot of seed oil. So you're doing you just think that's normal. You're cooking in canola oil, vegetable oil. You're eating out all the time. Seed oils are in everything that's prepackaged. Like it's so hard to get away from a seed oil. You have to look at everything. Like, your Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm so sorry. seed oils, like everything is so bad. Just become a little bit of a label reader and you'll see what I mean. But your liver has to choose what it's going to prioritize, and it's going to prioritize alcohol first every single time, because alcohol is very poisonous. And so it's going to have to break that down first. Okay. Alcohol always wins. That means the sugar and the oils get packed away as, drum roll, fat. So that's what's happening. It means the sugars and the oils are getting packed away as fat. So just think about like any kind of a fast food meal that you're eating, any kind of you go to a bar and you have like a hamburger and french fries. And I know this is not how we're eating, but I'm just saying, like in general, this is how this is all happening. I want you to understand, like, this all kind of came to be for a reason, right? You're adding a beer with that or whatever. Well, your liver is going to prioritize the alcohol, and then any of the sugar that you're eating, like, we kind of like to go to Red Robin. We're not drinking alcohol, but some of us, it's not me, like to grab the shakes, the bottomless, whatever, malteds or whatever, but then you're having all the seed oils and how the food is cooked in the bread that you're eating. You literally have corn syrup and everything. I don't know if you realize that or not. Like, it's in the bread, buns, it's in the sugar soda that you're drinking, all of those things, right? So, but your liver has to prioritize. And so this is why when I talk to you guys about, and we always end with talking about the total body reset, half of it, 50% deals with your liver. Why do you think that I do that? Liver, 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 liver. Like, you're wondering why you can't burn any fat and why you can't go anywhere. I have so many of you. You reach out to me and you're like, I've been on this program for 2 years over here and I can't lose any weight. I've been doing this over here for a year. Or you guys have a lot of stick-to-itiveness. Do you understand? Like, you guys are very determined. You really are trying so hard. You need to reward yourself for at least understanding that you have to have consistency and a long-term thought process to turn your body around to heal. But when you don't get results and I hear about it, I'm like, I'm just so sorry. But if you would focus on your liver and your insulin, you would get so much further, so much faster. Okay. So that's why we're talking about this. So everyday foods that really do sneak in, like healthy granola bar, like we grab these granola bars, you guys, they're just trash. Hola. They are so trash. But it has the same impact on your liver as a soda does that has sugar in it, corn syrup in it, right? The glass of wine that you're drinking every night, maybe some of you, that's just not my universe. But if it is, your liver has to choose alcohol or sugar. And either way, fat is going to get stored. So I know that we think like, well, what if I drink hard liquor? What if I drink, because maybe you're not going to do beer because you're thinking it has grain because of the hops and the barley and whatever. Yes, that's true. But even hard liquor, your liver still has got to prioritize dealing with the poison that just came into your body, like no matter how much it is, right? So it's going to create more fat storage. And you're like, why can't I get ahead? Why can't I gain any ground? Well, that's kind of what's going on. So you might ask yourself things like this: why am I so tired even though my labs are fine? Something's not right. Why am I so tired? My labs are fine. They keep telling me my labs are fine. I have this conversation a lot with y'all. Why do I keep craving sugar after dinner? I eat and then I'm just craving sugar. Why is belly fat sticking even when I eat less? I'm eating less, but my belly fat, it just still sits here. It's like it just doesn't want to go anywhere. Why? Why is that happening, right? Those are signs that your liver is kind of waving this white flag. Your liver is like, help me. That's what's going on, okay? But the good news is that you can turn it around. Your liver actually can regenerate when you give it the right support. But you do have to take steps in that direction. So, these are super simple. And so you might it might even underwhelm you, and you might think like, well, that can't make any kind of a difference. Well, I think that when you do marry the two things where you're doing just a few things on this end, that are maybe home remedy type-esque things, but at the same time, you're eliminating over here, you're going to take ground. You're literally going to take ground. So don't underestimate little tiny things like lemon water instead of juice. Juice should not be a part of our universe. If you are insulin resistant, Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's like straight sugar into your veins. It's like straight sugar right through your liver because it's all fructose, and your body will not process it the way you want it to process. And instead you're going to get fatter, and then you're going to be mad because you're not going to have understood maybe the connection between that and fat. But your liver can so that instead of like chips, instead of raising your sugar with chips all the time, because again, that is like potato starch. You guys, you guys are very like educated. You know what I'm talking about. Choose pork rinds. And I know some of you don't like them, and that's okay. You don't have to. But for those of you who do, just make sure that if you're getting like it's rare to find a flavored one that doesn't have total trash ingredients. So pork rinds instead of chips. And just become, read your labels, right? But you can be drinking dandelion tea, lemon water. Take your magnesium at night. Take your magnesium at night. If you need a really excellent magnesium, reach out to me. I'll send you a link. I mean, it is such a good magnesium. You don't want to just because there are many forms out there, right? But take your magnesium. Drink electrolytes. I've talked about that before, how you can get sugar-free electrolytes through on my site. It's not coming up today. My phone's not coming up today, but on StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube, because I'm on StreamYard. Right down here is my site right there. My site is my first last name, kirstenliebelt.com. Okay. I do have an Amazon fave button, but my point being that there's some electrolytes on there that are sugar-free that you can look at if you need that. Are drinks like V8 considered juice? No, but I think it's bad ingredients. Jeanette, hi, good to see you. You thought fruit is good for fiber. I know, Ursula. I understand. Let me address that here in just a second, but I am going to look up quickly because she just asked about it. She said V8. So let's just look at the ingredients of V8. Bum, bum, bum. V8 vegetable juice. Here we go. There is a fruit and vegetable one, so that's obviously going to be not great. It's not giving me my nutritional information here. Hold on. Nutrients and benefits. Here we go. Original. Let's just go original. Come on. Where are the ingredients, people? Wow, you have to hunt. It's not giving me the nutritional, like the back of the jar, so to speak. So let me do this because now I'm on a hunt. Hold on. Nutritional. This is interesting. I'm glad she asked that question. Super interesting how hard this is to find. This is crazy. Nutritional breakdown. What are the ingredients? Okay. Well, I apologize. I didn't mean to take that much time. I would need to probably try to find like the back of the back. So I'm not sure. I apologize. I will have to look that up. That's very interesting. I have a feeling that the ingredients are not what we want them to be at all. So Barbara, that is such a good question too. Okay, so here we go. Ursula, let's talk about Ursula's question first. She said, I thought fruit is good for fiber. So fruit does have fiber in it. However, number one, you have to believe that supplementing with fiber is an essential nutrient. Fiber is not a nutrient at all. Okay. So I just had this conversation with somebody last night. I'm not saying that having fiber in your fruit is a bad thing. Like God didn't make bad food. Don't be confused with what I'm saying. But we have been really indoctrinated to believe that we have to add massive amounts of fiber into our diet. And then if you think about it, like if you're constipated and you're adding massive fiber, constipation may not get better. It may bulk up your stools. Okay, so that's a conversation. Maria Emmerich actually writes an article called The Fiber Myth. All right. However, let's go back to talking about, if you're not insulin resistant, okay, so you're just you are metabolically healthy. And that doctor that I was talking about on that reel and saying, we have got to get back to eating fruit in season. We're eating way too much fruit. My dad, he's been gone now 30 years. He died at 63 from type 2 diabetes. I mean, honestly, the man could pile fruit away because fruit was healthy. He was literally killing himself with fruit. I got to be careful with my verbiage. TikTok will pick up on that. So he was absolutely declining his health by all the fruit he ate, because his body could not process what was going on because he was type 2 insulin dependent. Like, this was bad news, right? So that whole fiber conversation is like, it's just not the same conversation anymore when you're insulin resistant, okay? They're selling you Metamucil. They're selling you fiber products. They're selling you products. This has more fiber, more fiber. A baby needs how much fiber? 0. Breast milk has 0 fiber. So it's just a conversation. It's a thought process just to get your juices flowing a little bit on that. Because maybe some of the things that we've been told to pay attention to, we don't need to pay attention to. Nobody is fiber deficient because it's not a nutrient. And nobody is prescription deficient because your body doesn't produce prescriptions. So you have to ask yourself, nutritionally speaking, how to deal with these issues. And the issue is not to add more fiber, which is a Band-Aid. The issue is to get your system back running again. Like, you would never, ever, ever change the color of paint on your vehicle if the engine is going bad. It would not make sense. You have to get to the internal conversation. Okay. Now, this is very interesting though. So she's asking about, what do you think of Ezekiel bread? That's such a great question because my mother did that. So when I teach food, I teach no sugars, no grains, and no legumes, even sprouted grains, because your body will turn all of that into high sugar. If people would get themselves a continuous glucose monitor, I used to think, you don't really need one. And I don't have one, right? Maybe I should get one just so I can see, but I'm eating pretty low inflammation, low sugar. So I'm not willing to sacrifice my habits. This has been the conversation in my head. Welcome to my head. Welcome to my brain. I don't want to sacrifice the way that I eat because I feel so dang good all the time. And I've lost my 3 sizes in my 50s and blah, blah, blah. So I'm not willing to test a bunch of stuff. But if you wore a continuous glucose monitor, you would see the spike coming from that Ezekiel bread. And so again, you've been marketed. Somebody who's metabolically flexible, maybe they can just have at it and it's no big deal. Okay. But there are so many people that are not, that it's almost like, anyway. Good morning, Carmel. Good to see you. I just love your name so much. I had a great aunt, Carmel. What would make it bad? Total sugars. I don't know, Paula. I would have to look. It's more about the ingredients that I'm super interested in. I need to look that up though, but thank you for asking that. Clean eater, no pot. Okay. Okay. So Billy, this is very interesting. You guys listen to this now. Just lean in for 2 seconds. So she says she owns a health food store over 20 years. Okay. Over 20 years. She's a clean eater, no soda, no pop, no sugar. She cooks from scratch. No seed oils. She's put on 25 pounds during COVID. Her scale won't budge. Also, no alcohol. And she's at a loss and her labs are normal. Now, if you're on my content, what is the one thing she needs to probably ask for a test on? Does anybody know? Wendy, people can answer that. Excuse me. Wendy's saying probably high in salt. Salt is an electrolyte. Excuse me. So good salt, you need good salt. Pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, you need good salt. It's just that they put trash salt in our food. That's the issue. It's not salt in general. Table salt is trash, right? White table salt is just trash. fasting insulin. Lynn, ding, 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 ding. You're the winner, Lynn. Woohoo! Billy, do you know your fasting insulin numbers? Do you know your fasting insulin numbers? So let's just go all the way back to the beginning of the conversation of, I would say the conversation that's in my head, not the conversation today. Just track with me, okay, people? Just track with me. When you are constantly spiking your sugars and calling on insulin, your pancreas is releasing insulin. Your insulin its only job is to get that sugar, that fuel. I'm not saying sugar in a bad way. This is a normal process that your body takes. Your body eats, it turns it into energy. Your insulin is going to go grab that energy and it's going to put it into your cell. But when your cell is resistant to insulin, it's like, I am so done. And the receptors and the reception isn't there anymore. Your cell goes la, 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 and your insulin gets produced even more at a higher rate. And so you can spend years and decades being insulin resistant. High insulin equals high inflammation. High insulin means zero fat burning. High insulin, and your labs are fine because they're not checking your insulin over here. They're like, whatever. We're going to wait until your sugars don't come down anymore, until your insulin just can't do it anymore. And it can't do it, can't keep up. It can't keep up. It can't keep up. And now your sugars are like going up and up and up. And then they go, dang, girl. We have no idea how this happened, but you are pre-diabetic. And they could have been checking your fasting insulin years and decades ahead of time. I was gestational diabetic when I was 22 years old. I had a phone consult last night with somebody else that was like, we have the same story. They literally said when we delivered the baby to both of us, oh, you delivered your type 2. You delivered your gestational diabetes. Have a great life. See ya. Bye. And nothing, no information, no nothing, like as though it were like the baby was sitting on your sciatica, and you are like in pain, but then you deliver the baby and your sciatica goes back into place. That's what it was like. And nobody said nothing. Julie, good to see you. Good to see you. Yep. So she says no on her fasting insulin. So if you will go and get a fasting insulin test, and if they won't if they won't do it for you, don't freak out. Don't be like mean to your doctors or anything. It's not in their protocol generally. And I'm not a doctor, right? I'm just your girlfriend. Like, grab a cup of coffee. I'm just your friend. They most likely won't. But if you find a doctor that will help you tremendously to understand. You can know that you're insulin resistant by a lot of other factors. I mean, the very fact that you're saying, I own a health food store and here I've been doing all of these really good things and eliminating all these things. You might have a lot of belly fat. Your belly might be growing and you're like, what is going on? That's the visceral fat underneath pushing itself out. And the visceral fat is coming from insulin resistance, right? You might be having cravings all the time, or your sleep might be off, or your gut is getting leaky and you don't even realize it. You might be like, you eat and then you crash. And it's just because your system is like, your sugars are bouncing and then they're crashing, and you're like, your insulin isn't keeping up anymore. And there's just a host of things. And I have always talked about to you guys how the trunk of the tree is insulin resistance right here. It's right here. And everything else is coming off, all the branches, the PCOS and the fatty liver and the gout and the type 2 diabetes and the high blood pressure, and everything else is coming off of insulin resistance. And you don't even know it. And it's the one freaking test they're not taking. It's mind-boggling is what it is. Okay, so she's just talking about the V8. Yeah. Yep. Consume in moderation. Yep. Yep. Continuous glucose monitor will completely change how you eat. This is, yes, Jeanette. Any vegetable or fruit will affect it quickly. Proteins will stabilize much better. Thank you, Jeanette. That's true. And that's why, like, so when I talk to you guys about, like, because I have this free protein guide, the whole point of that is to get you to understand that, okay, somebody wrote on my reel this morning, I saw, and she said, I want information. I want to get unstuck. I want the information. And she said, but I'm a vegetarian. And I just was really honest with her. And I said, supplementation may help you for sure. Like, you should probably check out, more than anybody, to be really honest, the supplementation that I talk about that's going to target your liver, your gut, and your insulin. You should really pay attention. But helping a vegetarian, this is not my wheelhouse. And I'm just going to be super transparent about it. It's not my wheelhouse, because as a vegetarian, you're getting your protein from grains and legumes. And I don't know how to turn that back for you, because I teach the opposite. I teach animal-based. If you eat wheat and you're trying to get, or let's say oats, because oats are saying that, they're healthy. Wink, wink. Not true. But they're saying that oats are healthy. Oats will spike your sugars like to the freaking moon, but you might be choosing to eat them because you're thinking you're getting protein, because they've marketed that to you. I'm not saying the protein's not in there, but that's a really bad source of protein if you are not wanting to become insulin resistant, or you are insulin resistant and you think you're doing a good thing. This is the problem, right? So we've been told that healthy is all about eating grains and greens. And again, I'm not even saying greens are bad. That's not my point. But when you eat protein, like what she's saying, when you begin to eat animal-based protein. This morning I got up and I had the rest of my egg white protein bread and 3 eggs. So my protein was probably, actually, to be really honest, it's a little on the low side, but I was in a hurry. So probably almost, I'm going to stretch it, almost 30 grams of protein. Normally I do a lot more than that. But because it's eggs and my egg white protein bread, my energy, it's going to be literally like, this is my blood sugars, right? And it will stabilize my blood sugars. There's no spike. I didn't eat toast or pancakes or oatmeal or any cereal, or no grains, no legumes, and no sugar. And so my blood sugar, and literally cellularly, because I'm not spiking my sugars all the time and calling on insulin more and more and more and more, which is high inflammation and damaging my cellular structure, I am literally turning back my body. Now, I'm not saying this is the fastest thing I've ever done on the face of the planet, but people are like, what skincare do you use? Your skin is, I don't eat sugar. I don't eat grains. I'm very low inflammation. Very low inflammation, but that's because I want to keep my sugars at bay and I want to keep my insulin low. And then we can go into a whole nother conversation. And so I won't do that, because, like, come on, people, we all have a life. We all have a life. So, and Patty said something about the thyroid, and I'm not really quite sure like what you were, but thyroid hormones are converted in, say it with me, your liver. So I'm going to tell you really quickly about the total body reset. And I'm going to do this because, listen, 6 things in it, 3 of them are for your liver. And so we talk about this every single day. So if you've been on my content for any length of time, this is what we do, because I have somebody who has an MRI that had a fatty liver that went from bad to mild. I have people who have given me their visceral fat scans. I have people who have been like, you guys get off of your meds, you lose your weight, you lose your fat, you lose your inches, because when you begin to deal with your visceral fat and you get your liver going from the inside out, you're literally losing fat inside like this. And it's literally pulling the fat. It's pulling you in from the sides. It's pulling you in. It's pulling your hips in. So your inches that you're losing after a year, on this particular program, she's on here. She lost. Hi, Joan. Oh, you're so sweet. She says, good information today. Joan, you're amazing. She lost 6 inches from under her bra, 5 inches off her waist, and 3 inches off her hips. This is not jazz hands. This is not magic. This is not, This is science that we've been waiting for. We wanted this back in the 80s and the 90s. Oh, if I could only just, whatever, take a pill and blah, blah. And I'm not saying that you don't trade out your foods. That is what I teach 100% in the group, right? I teach this all the time because I'm Italian and I had to fix my foods. But I will tell you that we do have ways now that we can target things in a completely different manner. And that matters to you because when your labs change, when your MRI shows results, when your doctor takes you off of meds, when your doctor puts not diabetic in your chart, that's an actual real result. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be crass, but screw the scale. We're all over here weighing ourselves and emotionally like up and down and sideways and crying and jeans don't fit and la, 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 la. And we're only using one thing. Don't you want real results? Don't you want actual labs or actual things to happen in your life? I mean, I know we all want to be, a different size, like most of us do. I shouldn't say everybody because that's not true. But like I was a 2X when I started this journey and now I'm a large and I'm pretty happy that I lost my 3 sizes. I'm not sad, right? But don't we want the labs? Don't we want the long term? Don't we want we don't want to live afraid of dementia, insulin resistance of the brain, probably other factors too. My mother had Alzheimer's for 5 years that we took care of her. So I'm really aware of that universe. Don't we want to not ache? Get up in the morning and not ache? I mean, I seriously, I don't come on here. I'm not coming on here to brag about nothing. Because listen, I'm still on my journey. Big time. Like I'm a hippie person. So like I can be a large on the top and an extra large on the bottom. And I'd like to change that too. Like I'm kind of a pear, right? So there's things that I want to change too, just like everybody else, right? But I wake up and I don't ache. And that to me is worth more than everything. Like, because now I'm not limited the moment I wake up and get out of bed. It's worth something. So the Total Body Reset, 6 different products, okay? And you can absolutely mix and match according to what your needs are. And that's where having a conversation with me sometimes can help, or you can just go to my site and you can see it yourself. I have zero idea why I cannot open up my Android, this Android that I don't know how to run. I have no idea why I don't know how to fix this today. I'm just telling you. People are like, I'm technologically challenged. Me too. Why can't I open up my phone and show you my site today? I don't know why that is. So I'm just going to tell you right now, okay? My site is my first and my last name.com, KirstenLiebelt.com, KIRSTEN, like the American Girl doll, LIE, like you lie down on your bed, belt, like you put around your waist, KirstenLiebelt.com. At the very top, you will see 4 buttons, and that's going to be the supplement, kind of like taking these 6 products I'm going to show you and putting them into a couple of different configurations so you can choose. Just make sure that you sign up as a customer so you can get your free shipping, etc. If you scroll up just a tiny bit, you're going to see my before and after picture, like the one here on TikTok. And then you're going to see 3 free resources. So just if you go on my site, you're going to see everything that I'm talking about. If you're like, hey, listen, lady, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to ask you questions. I just want to go see what you're talking about. That's where you go. If you want to talk to me, you're like, no, actually, I do have a question. And I'm like wondering if I should start here or here. Then just reach out to me and I will talk to you. Okay. Power off and back on, Carmel says, I know, but I don't even know if I know how to power it off, Carmel. Maybe if I hold this, Carmel's going to help me. You just watch. Carmel's going to help me. Okay. But while it's doing that, because I'm used to my iPhone is right here for my Instagram. Okay. Showing me 3. Okay. When I dropped whites, grains, added sugars, potatoes, rice, and pasta, my lupus and RA symptoms lessened. I can make a fist and bend my toes without pain. I will never go back to eating the way I was. Marla. Oh, you guys, seriously, like that makes my heart so happy. The direction that you're going. Like, just think about that, because you can't convince somebody who has an experience against their experience. So now she knows that. Now she can own that. Now you can own that result. And you can't talk me out of it. You just can't. I don't want to go and binge and feel like total trash on foods that are going to make me so inflamed and icky. Anyway, okay, we're going to get onto this. The button on South. Carmel, you're amazing. Okay, you actually just got me to do it. So yay! I love you guys. You guys are so helpful for me. Okay, my phone is restarting. While it's restarting, because Carmel helped me. All right, I'm going to tell you the six things. God, I took way too long on that. Okay, so what I started with was the trio. These are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. This is where I started when I was 2x in size, okay? So I try to be kind of careful because TikTok, if I show things on TikTok, let's see, I'll show it on Instagram and Facebook. Things like they've got bots doing weird things. You recorded the complete set so you won't run. You reordered the complete set so you won't run out. Plus the ashwagandha and magnesium. Caramel. I want to know exactly what you think about the ashwagandha and magnesium. It's my jam. I know not everybody's the same, but there's just a sense of well-being. Anyway, okay. Joan says, way to go, Marla. Yes, you guys are awesome. I just think that's so great. You guys are so encouraging of each other. So insulin, sugars, liver metabolism. Insulin, sugars, liver metabolism. Insulin, sugars, liver metabolism. Bring your insulin, your sugars down. Bring your liver and your metabolism up. Okay, that's what this is. This one is 3 times a day. These 2 are twice a day. Super basic. Really great start, especially if you are somebody, and I call this the trio. If you are somebody who you're like, listen, I need my A1C to move into a different direction, like right now. I need to start doing that. You're going to want the free protein guide and you're going to want the trio. That's where you're going to start. Now, you'll notice one of these pieces is liver. Okay. Then if you add in the gut primer and the probiotic, now you're going to recalibrate your gut. You can do this all by itself too if you want to, but you can recalibrate your gut. Now, this is a greens product, but this is different than just a regular greens product. Number 1, the greens are fermented. So that means very gentle on your tummy, very bioavailable, very absorbent. Like these are the things that you want. It's very turmeric-y, gingery, kind of green tea. I'm super used to it. I know that I talked to you guys about how because I'm not a green tea person. So I take it like a shot in a little bit of water and I froth it up and I take it like that. At first I did not love it because of the green tea, but you guys, I've been doing this for a year. So I'm so used to this now. I look forward to the freshness and to drink the freshness. Now, I did have somebody say to me, she said she did it like a wellness shot and she said, that is not for me. She said, I'm a texture person. And so I did not like that. So she uses a little more water. Okay. So I'm just telling you all the little tips and tricks. Okay. So, yes, of course, I want everything to taste like, chocolate or cookie dough blizzard, but it doesn't. It tastes like green tea. And it's basically, if you've had your gallbladder removed, if you've got liver, you need liver help, this is for your liver and your gut. Insulin resistance creates leaky gut. This is going to help that. It's going to help to bring down the inflammation. It's going to help you to move your impacted waste through your body. You need that so terribly. You need that so bad. You need your liver to reset. You need your body just to feel better. That is like the source of so many issues. Lynn says, girl, and I'm not sure what you're saying that about, Lynn, but you never know. Lynn is a hoot and a half. Let me tell you, Lynn and I have been chatting on voice text and Messenger. And Lynn, you are a very, very funny girl. Okay, so gut primer, 1 scoop in the morning. Here's your probiotic. I already did mine for today. It's 5 strains that are alive. Put them on your tongue, just like this. Now, the last one is this is the fat burner. And when I say this, I literally, at first I was like super sheepish about that because I think technically if you're going to follow like the rules and regulations of anything, you can't call something a fat burner. This is actually a fat burner. Just going to say it. Now, when you go and you order the Total Body Reset, you guys, it's going to say that it's on back order. You can still order it. That's actually a really big step. You need to understand that. Don't let that block you. Understand that if it said temporarily out of stock, you couldn't even put it in your cart. Because you can put it in your cart, it's actually going to come back live on the website like in 6 days or something. So the second it's available, you're basically getting yourself in line. You're getting yourself in line for it to get shipped to you first before it comes fully back. So don't let the back order scare you. You will not be charged for it until then. Okay. And I did have this question and I did call the company on this. This is the question. I want to take advantage of the customer campaign. And the customer campaign is when you purchase 150 3 months in a row, you get $75 off on your third month. If this is on back order, and should I have never even purchased it, will it count towards the customer campaign? Like it's on back order, so my subtotal is still over 150. Will it count? The answer is yes. Yes, it will. Okay, so I've already called the company. I already talked to her about it. I already gave her all the information, right? So we did want to make sure that that was true, right? Because that's really important. You're not used to it yet, Lynn. I get it. I am aware. And it probably took me a while too, because I have a friend. She literally is like, I think it tastes like Christmas in a cup. And it's because of the gingery taste or whatever. And I'm like, girl, that is not Christmas in a cup. So, but she kept saying, I love the fresh. I love, like, I'm craving it. And I thought, I don't know that I'm ever going to feel that way. I do feel that way now, not the Christmas part, but I do feel like it's that freshness. It's like, I know what I'm doing. And it does, because it is, it's off of organic farms. It's all very fresh. It's very whatever. Okay. So the last thing is the orange pixie stick. This is actually for the sports nutrition line. It tastes like orange candy. You put it on your tongue and it targets. It's meant to change your BMI. It is meant to change your visceral fat. Like, where in the 1990s could anybody have ever said that? Like, I don't think so. But now we have technology that's different. We have science that can back actual results. And they tested this for over a year. Most companies would never take the time to test this over a year. So what I tell people is that if you're doing the total body reset, you're doing all 6 of the products. Basically, on the orange pixie stick, take this for 90 days straight and then take 30 days off. Don't purchase it on that 4th month. And then go back to 90 days again and do rounds of that. And that's how, over the course of a year, her MRI showed fatty liver went from bad to mild. And that wasn't the total of her results. She also lost 17 pounds. Her A1C went down a point. She lost 6 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches. Like, she's got a lot going on. But don't you understand that what you've done then for your liver with all of these pieces, because 50% of it is for your liver, now you have positioned your body for even more and more fat loss. And sometimes the harder piece is the fact that we have to tweak things for ourselves. I'm not going to lie. I understand that. I do. But that's where you need to settle in and stop requiring your body to give you results overnight. I don't know what you're healing from. I don't, right? I don't know what scripts you're taking. I don't know what surgeries that you've had, maybe a lot of anesthesia in your body, and your body is just trying to like detox. And so sometimes we have to like slow way down in order to speed up results that are coming to us. Lynn says my friend is not well. I'll have to let her know. That is hysterical. That is hysterical. You're a supplement junkie. My doctor says my labs are example, but I gained. Would you suggest it? Stop taking supplements while you start your program? Depends on what you're taking. I do think that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't take as much as people think that I would. I don't. I'm super targeted. I'm a very targeted person. I think if there was a love language called function, that would be my love language. I love, like, for instance, I like to put my dishwasher on and go to bed, turn on my washing machine and leave the house. I want things functioning for me. I want to multi-layer things. So if something doesn't make sense in my world, I don't run to it. I don't like, I take supplements to very specifically deal with my insulin resistance. Does that mean that I don't take? Of course I take a packet. You know, I have my dailies. I take the premium of all of my dailies, multivitamin, multi-mineral, phytonutrient. Can I open this? Yes, I can. Fish oil. Those are the basics. So these are the basics. There's a vitamin D, multi-mineral, multivitamin, phytonutrient, and fish. Okay, so that's normal. Okay, but then basically everything else has a purpose for me. That's like flooding my body with nutrition. Okay, so that's normal. And I can always get you a link for that too, if that's what you need. But then I'm very insulin resistance minded. Like I am trying to get my body to constantly function at a higher level. And if there's healing to be had in the middle of this, then I don't want to be taking 20, 30 things. I don't want to do that. So like I might take adaptogenic herbs because I want my mood and my mind to get brightened. Or I'll take, like the trio to help my body bring down insulin, sugars, get my liver, my metabolism. Like I'm specific. So you don't have to stop, but you might want to reach out to me and tell me what you're taking. Sometimes people take pictures of what they're taking. And then I can tell you like, maybe you don't have to worry about that right now. I hope that answers your question. But that's the total body reset, those 6 things. Okay. You can always reach out to me. You can go on my site if that's what you want. I will show you quickly what that looks like so that you have a visual. And then I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But then after that, I am actually out of town on Thursday and Friday. And so I will not be available. I'll be available. I will not be live. So, but I'll be available for conversation. So first, last name, KirstenLiebelt.com. Julie says she gets targeted supplements as your integrated doctor was targeted my blood tests so that what you were missing. This has made all the difference. That's awesome, Julie. What just happened there? Okay. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So Kirsten Liebelt right here. That's what it looks like. Not, whatever. And these are the 4 buttons that talk about everything I just talked about, just different configurations according to what you are looking for and what you need. If you scroll up just a tiny bit, you'll see my before and after picture. And here are your 3 free resources right there. Okay. 3 free resources. So you can jump on there and you can, if you need to get a hold of me, there's contact information right here at the bottom. Like, don't miss out. I have a phone number you can text me at. There's my messenger. The Facebook group is right there. Just make sure you give your email to get in, things like that. Everything is available. It's a very short, there's hardly anything on there. And so, so that's not confusing to you, but always ask questions. And then I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. And thanks for all the questions today. Those were really, really good questions. And it's fun to just kind of like, just flesh out some of those thought processes because we do get confused. And I am going to go look up V8 and I'm going to try to find a nutritional thing because I'm not sure what's in it. Maybe it's totally fine. But I think that what I'm thinking in my brain is that the concentration of whatever they're putting in there is anytime you concentrate something, it probably does have super high sugars in it because even like tomatoes are actually a fruit. They're not a vegetable. They're actually a fruit. So I'm just going to assume that, and it doesn't mean I don't eat tomatoes. That's not, of course I do. I eat spaghetti sauce and all this. So don't like get my words twisted, but I'm just saying anytime you concentrate something like that, then you'll probably have a higher sugar content. The best answer would be if somebody had a continuous glucose monitor. And if you are willing to test some V8 juice and see what happens over 2 hours, you would see for yourself. That's how that would work. Anyway. All right. Have the best day ever, you guys. It's so good to see you. And if you need anything, I'm here for you. And concentrated natural flavors added, Jeanette says. Yeah, I know. And so I just don't know, right? And I don't know. I go back and forth. Maybe I need to get a CGM. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Have a good day, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 11. Bye.